ready, ladies and gentlemen, as we are back for another round of YouTubers smashing each other in absolute mechanical glory. Battle of the YouTubers 2. Over the next few months, 12 YouTubers will be taking to the arena with their 8 selected machines to represent them come the semi-finals, with some of the machines being those that failed to qualify for Series 3 of the main competition. It's going to be chaotic, and it's going to be glorious. So let's head into our first heat as OrangeDoseOverJuice readies his 8 machines for the menace that is about to ensue. Let the chaos begin with the lifting weapon of free shipping taking on the axe of the Steel Avenger. The axe and shiny armor of Shatter will be taking on the lethal flails of Nuts 2. The axe of Thor hoping to smash down on the spinning blade of the Warhead. And then the drum spinner of Concussion taking on the undercutter bar of PP3D. Now let the wars begin! Free shipping. Lifter. It may not have had the greatest of success in BattleBots, but it always gave spectacular battles which people seem to really love, and honestly, who the hell can blame them? The lifting weapon has serious power behind it, allowing it to help self-right and could potentially even toss another machine out of the arena. The speed of the machine is also effective, allowing it to help get out of trouble, but it can also cause them issues as speed can often cause the downfall, especially around the Pit of Oblivion, and the exposed wheels don't help the situation either. The Steel Avenger. Axebot. The armor consists of aluminium and stainless steel panels with polycarbonate bulletproof casing for added protection of the electronics, armed with a vicious-looking spiked axe. The two-wheel drive is also fairly quick and can help get out of dodge in no time at all. But the armor is not the most protective against some of the lethal spinning blades in the series, and there's no self-righting mechanism.
Roboteers, stand by.
Free shipping with the lifting front weapon. And the Steel Avenger with the big chopper. And both these machines are very, very quick.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Question is, who will have the quicker drive? As free shipping drives up the side of the Steel Avenger. And now Steel Avenger thrown up and over by free shipping, which I thought would happen. There is a crowd clearance. The axe is gone! The axe of the Steel Avenger is gone! They've righted it! Okay, well, I didn't see that coming. Look at this, free shipping rights the Steel Avenger. They drive off. Up comes the spike. It's throwing them against the wall. Up and over. That's brilliant! Oh, that's glorious! And nearly threw themselves down the pit, too! Oh, this fight's just started and I'm already laughing! Up and over again! Oh, it's all here. Oh, hello! The video glitch cut out there. We've not seen that since... We've got a lot of that in Series 3. I don't know why. Steel Avenger thrown up and over again by free shipping, who are now trying to right them over and do so as they spin it in the circle. I don't know why free shipping keeps righting the Steel Avenger after they flip them underneath them. Maybe they're trying to put on more of a show as they collide with one another against the wall. And now Steel Avenger being buffeted up by the arena spike, and the free shipping get underneath Steel Avenger. Obviously they can, unless Steel Avenger gets underneath free shipping and disables that weapon, because that is surprising, honestly. I didn't think Steel Avenger would be able to get underneath free shipping, but they're able to, and now overturn them. But quick self-righting there from the Steel, the free shipping, I mean. Look at this. Steel Avenger drives underneath them, but quickly self-right. That is brilliant. Steel Avenger once again up and over. Once again, free shipping tries to right them, just throws them up and over more. Can free shipping get the Steel Avenger out the arena? Probably not from that angle. It has to be said. I'm wondering if they can pull it off, actually. It's in general. Up and over they go again! As free shipping nearly gets thrown up and over by the spike themselves and ramps up Steel Avenger, who they've righted again. Honestly, this is a great opening battle to battle the YouTubers too. And free shipping up and over by the spike again goes to Steel Avenger, and will free shipping do them up and over again? Or no, I think they are done with this. They're like, yeah, I've had enough, and down the pit, and that's the end of the Steel Avenger in this competition. Free shipping, well done, as they raise their arm in celebratory fashions as they progress through to the next round. Well done to free shipping, and commiserations to the Steel Avenger. But hey, that was a brilliant opening battle. A fantastic fight from the Steel Avenger, but they are gone. Free shipping, they go through. And next up, it's Shatter and Nuts 2. Shatter! Axe-Bot! A very big axe with front prongs to help get underneath to make the use of the axe more effective. The axe can also help the machine right itself when thrown up and over. I also really like the armor, and the machine runs on Omni wheels. Don't see that every day. But the sides are quite vulnerable, and in regards to the armor, I am not overly sure about how strong it is. Nuts 2! Thwack-Bot! A small body with big wheels and a ring cage equipped with 2 big chains that hit anyone that comes at it by spinning around on the spot. Flipping it over won't do anything, as it can just run upside down. The exposed wheels and ground clearance are a major issue for Nuts 2, but it's not really hard knocking it out, and also isn't hard to get at those wheels for the most part.
Roboteers, stand by.
Shatter with the giant spiked axe and the front little forks to help slide underneath and get underneath machines easier. And Nuts 2 with the chain flails and the ring.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Nuts 2, very difficult machine to hit, to be honest. Unless you have an axe, which Shatter does. And they'll use that axe to do some damage, although Nuts 2 surprisingly pushing away at Shatter. Not a surprise, not what I thought would happen. And now they look stuck together. One of those flails seems to be stuck inside Shatter. They're free now. And Nuts 2 spinning around as Shatter tries coming in from another charge, but I don't... Well, you mistimed that one, Shatter. Or is Shatter trying to get Nuts 2 away from the wall? Speaking of wall, Nuts 2 stuck up it. Can Shatter get Nuts 2 away? Or will Nuts 2 fall here? Shatter's, for the most part, seems a lot more aggressive than Nuts 2. But Nuts 2, them spinning around, that will also add to their aggression. Not sure who's got this on damage. Oh, Shatter's got it! So is Nuts 2! They're both in the pit! But I think Shatter fell first into the pit! I think they fell first, and then Nuts 2 fell! And I'm being relayed a message from the judges. It's Shatter who are gone! They fell into the pit first. Shatter is out. They're gone home. Nuts 2 goes through. And next up, it's Thor and Warhead. Thor. Axe-Bot. The Norse god of thunder descends into our arena with its mighty hammer, Mjolnir. The weapon will swing down and strike fast and hard, gouging through the armor of anyone unfortunate to feel its blow. But that doesn't work if a machine attacks from behind, where there is a bit of a ground clearance. Warhead! Spinner! A very big spinning disc to rip and tear through the opposition with the side wings to help right it back onto its wheels. Actually, the successor to Razor. The weapon is very, very dangerous and could even rival that of other spinners in their competition. But the wings do possess a slight ground clearance issue, and I'm not overly sure how good its pushing power is compared to Razor.
Roboteers, stand by.
Thor with the big chopping axe and the front little wedge and the power to stuff, right? And Warhead with the wings and the lethal spinning blade.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Be interesting to see what happens here. Will Thor destroy the Warhead, or will the Warhead turn the Norse god into mincemeat? Well, Thor mistimed their axe, now striking down on the wing, now on the actual body, and that's caused problems, and that's a wheel! That's, a piece of a wheel from Thor. The weapon, however, dropping down on Warhead to try and do some damage, probably destroy that flywheel, but to no real success. In fact, the flywheel of Warhead's actually causing major problems for Thor. They can't really do much. The axe can come down, but what else is there? Warhead stuck in the spikes, which is quite the problem. And Thor will take advantage. Now Thor's getting stuck on the spikes. Those spikes. Every time we use this arena, those spikes cause so much problems as they're lifting up the wings of Warhead. Is there any way Thor can try and use that to their advantage? Can they push Warhead? Thor trying to do something and spun away. I don't really think there's much else they can do. But now, underneath and on fire! And that's it! Thor's gone! That's the end of Thor, look at this! That's where it ended! Up and over on fire! Their axe still works, they can help solve right! But that's all they can do! They're on fire! That blade of Warhead has destroyed Thor! They're not coming back from that! They're on fire, they're smoking as well at the same time! I don't know how that's possible, but they are. And Warhead seems completely stuck against the wall, coming away and spinning into the axe head of Thor, and are now stuck on the spike again. Warhead have done brilliantly here, and are getting stuck on that spike again. The spikes have been causing so much problems for Warhead, and I don't think their wings are helping matters either. What is Warhead doing? They're just being brutal here to Thor. They don't need to be that brutal. But interestingly enough, it's not really doing anything to Thor. Thor, perfectly fine. I mean, they've lost their wheels, they've lost movement. Their weapons, well, you can see what's happened there. But that blade isn't really cutting through the armor. They don't really need to, though, because Thor is out. Warhead, you can stop now. What is this brutality? Is this Warhead showing off its power? Probably. As Warhead's stuck in the wall, and Thor, I think Jason's just letting it happen. Really? Nothing else Thor can do. Thor, they know they're out. They're going home. Warhead, they're going through to the next round. Poor Thor. Such a shame too, because Thor, well, they seemed okay at first. They seemed like they could have given a good shot, but Warhead, their blade, too dangerous, too destructive. It shredded through Thor. Cease. Finally called. Took its long time. Thor completely obliterated and immobilized and out. Warhead destructively and convincingly through to the next round. And I don't think Warhead needed to be as deadly as they were, but they were. They're through. Thor's out. Next up, Concussion and PP3D. Concussion! Spinner! The spinning drum is very dangerous, and the giant wheels help it run both ways up. The weapon can also cause the machine to gyro, which can result in it being left vulnerable, especially if a spinning blade shows up and strikes at the big exposed wheels. PP3D Spinner! I remember watching the video of Paul building this, and I also remember that the build became slightly tricky to drive due to how it's built. And the undercutter blade doesn't overly help, which affects the drive, but the weapon also helps slide underneath machines and strike at the wheels protected underneath their body shell. But their own wheels are also exposed, which, while it does help it run upside down somewhat, does leave them vulnerable too.
Robot ears, stand by.
Concussion with the spinning drum, and PP3D with the undercutter spinning blade. A reboot Robot Wars battle here, because both of them fought in that.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
So it'll be interesting to see who is better as PP3D spins around and gets flung away by the blade of Concussion. And again, not the blade, the drum, you know what I mean. But PP3D now stuck on their side, and that is going to cause them problems, and they're up and over, which isn't helping. But now they are colliding, and ooh, big collision there, and that spike isn't helping either. And and now PP3D is stuck on the backside. Concussion trying to do a bit more damage, and I think they have. Something's on the floor. I don't know where that's from actually, but Concussion on top. Oh, what's happened here? They're on the wall now. I'm being bullied by PP3D. What happened here? It's like hello, switcheroo. Like the undercutter flung Concussion onto the wall. What the? You're supposed to be fight. This is Robot Wars, not Robot Gymnastics. PP3D, come on. For the love of now. That's going to cause them both problems. They're playing way too close to that bed. And because of how PP3D is now, it's going to cause them serious issues. They're finally away though. But off comes the tire. Off comes one of the tires of the wheel. And that is essentially game over for PP3D. They can't do anything. They can't bat that. That's their drive completely gone now. And Concussion, a final shock. And out the arena goes PP3D. Well done to them. The exposed wheels, always an Achilles heel. Off it comes. That's the end of PP3D. And this was the finishing shot. The drum and blades collide again. Out goes PP3D out the arena. And it's Concussion going through. A great battle of spinners nonetheless though, as Concussion comes out on top and PP3D crashes out of the arena. So these are our 4 victors, free shipping nuts to Warhead and Concussion. And this is how round 2 will be looking. Warhead will be taking on Concussion and free shipping will be taking on nuts too. But first, we're going to give our machines a breather and have a little fun with our Pinball Warrior Tournament. The Pinball Warrior Tournament, an event to test the machine's drive and metal and see how it maneuvers across our arena. Here's how to score all those important points. 5 points for each of those barrels knocked over. If you go up and over the ramp, that's 20 points. 50 points if you can hit this target, same as the other target on the other side. 10 points for hitting the multi-ball release, 5 points for each of those balls knocked into a pit. If you can get through the car door, that's 25 points. Another 25 points if you're knocking the big sphere into the pit. And just behind them, another set of barrels, each worth 5 points. 12 machines will be taking part in this special event. The machine with the highest score will be deemed our Pinball Warrior Tournament champion. And here is our first weapon of the Firestorm 2. The main weapon is a front hinge flipping arm with a 0-degree ground clearance at the front. Been around the robot wars since the very beginning, actually. With Snowstorm.
3, 2, 1.
There's something else I forgot to mention. The machine will have to take on a house robot for Firestorm 2 Dead Metal. Down go the barrels. And Firestorm 2, they're trying to take on Dead Metal. You probably shouldn't. That's going to cost you some points. You've still got a couple barrels left over. That's about another barrel down. And now Firestorm sizing up the ramp and goes over it and gets the multi-ball release. And once again, going for Dead Metal. Now, as I said before, the multi-ball release is worth 10 points for each of those balls knocked into the pit. Like that one that's just fallen, that's an extra 5. Firestorm hits the 50-point target as another ball falls into the pit. Firestorm could have gone for the car door, but those two go after Dead Metal and has gotten themselves stuck on Dead Metal's pincer, who's also stuck underneath the seesaw, and that's going to cost Firestorm, but not a bad start to the Pinball Warrior Tournament. Another ball's fallen to the pit, unfortunately after time, so it won't really count. Here are the highlights though. Firestorm hitting the barrels, going over the ramp, great drive, and straight into the multi-ball release. Had to reverse into it though, and then chose to tussle with Dead Metal a bit. Got the 50-point target. That's a big score there. And then drove over the spike. Could have gone for the car door, but chose to go off the Dead Metal for some weird reason. And then got stuck on the pincer of Dead Metal. And really struggled getting off them. And I think that's going to cost him a bit. But not a bad starting score, 125 points. That's actually, honestly, that's a very good starting score. 125 points. Probably will be very easy to beat, but at least it sets a good benchmark. More Pinball Warrior Tournament later on down the series, but let's get back to the wars for right now. In a moment, we will be seeing the spinning blade of Warhead against the spinning drum of Concussion. But first up, it's the lifting weapon of Free Shipping against the flailing machine Nuts 2.
Roboteers, stand by.
Free Shipping with the lifting arm, which had a very good fight against the Steel Avenger. And Nuts 2 with the chain flails and ring cage, which somehow managed to win against Shatter.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Don't quite know how they won against Shatter, but Free Shipping already on the attack to try and lift Nuts 2 up and out the arena. Not sure if that's doing the world of good. Oh, hello! They seem to be snagged free now. Free Shipping getting caught on the floor flipper there. And Nuts 2 stuck against the wall. Is everything okay with Free Shipping? Collided with the wall. Is there something wrong with the drive? Did their battle against the Steel Avenger cause a bit more problems than they first thought, I wonder? Meanwhile, the two are getting stuck together again. Right now, this is all free shipping. They're the ones constantly on the attack here. Nuts 2 spinning around on the spot. You could argue that is aggression, which in a way it is. It's the only way they can use their weapon. But they're not coming in for an attack. And is free shipping and Nuts 2 stuck together? I wonder. I think they might be. They can't get off. Oh, nearly down the pit there. And now they're down the pit. Who's fallen there? Who fell first here, I wonder?
Cease.
I'll have to go to the judges for that one. Who fell first? Was it free shipping or Nuts doing? I'm being relayed a message by the judges. They've requested for a rematch.
Roboteers, stand by. Three, two, one. Activate.
Here we go again, and immediately free shipping in with the box rush on Nuts 2 to throw them against the wall, and almost had Nuts 2 out the arena. It would be great to see free shipping getting machine out the arena, but I am not 100% convinced they have the weaponry to do that. Nuts 2 stuck against the wall again. Free shipping trying to get them out. Free ship. Be careful of the pit, free shipping. Grief. What can free shipping really do? Well, they could probably push Nuts 2 down the pit. That'd be a good idea. Nuts 2, they're not really able to do much. Then again, now there's free shipping! Except drive themselves on the edge of the pit! And down they go, courtesy of Nuts 2! Free shipping in the pit, and Nuts 2 spins in the light! And a worthy delight that is to throw free shipping out! Well, 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 and free shipping had been on top the entire time, as well as in the last battle. No judges' decisions or rematches this time, as Nuts 2 drives around the arena for some reason in celebratory fashion, I think, and colliding with the wall. You don't really need to do much. They're throwing themselves up and over. That is just brilliant. Nuts 2, hey! Doing the same thing again.
Cease.
Cease finally called. Should have been called about like 2 minutes ago, really. Nuts 2. Well done to them. Finally gets the win. Free shipping are out. Next up, Warhead and Concussion.
Roboteers, stand by.
Warhead. That lethal spinning blade and the side wings to help the machine self-right did brilliantly in their fight against Thor. And Concussion with their spinning drum had a brilliant fight with PP3D and even threw them over the wall.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
The question is, who will be the stronger? And so far, it seems to be Concussion, as they're already able to get underneath Warhead and set them on fire. And I think they've done serious damage to Warhead. Is there something wrong with their blade? I think there is. And Concussion giving them chase, and now Warhead up and over. I think there is a problem with their blade. I don't think the mechanism is truly working, and they're in the... Concussion's joined them too. Well, that was a very short and very easy fight for Concussion, I think. Poor Warhead, I don't really think they stood much of a chance. That is a shame for them. Haven't seen them back again, but it's Concussion going through to the Heat Final. A brilliant performance from Concussion as they send Warhead down the pit and out. And poor Warhead, they've got some repairs if they ever want that machine coming back to Robot Wars, or BattleBots for that matter. But it's Concussion going through to the Heat Final, and this is it. Concussion and Nuts 2, our first Heat Final. And what a Heat Final it's gearing up to be. The Heat Final, the first Heat Final for Battle of the YouTubers 2. The qualify for OrangeDoseOverJuice, Nuts 2 and Concussion. Quick reminder how they got here. This was Nuts 2's run against the axe of Shatter. The little flail getting stuck inside Shatter, and Shatter couldn't really do much in terms of effectiveness, and then ended up drawing themselves into the pit like an idiot. And then free shipping. We're actually a lot more dominant against Nuts 2. This was where they both crashed out into the pit at the same time, and a rematch had to occur. And once again, free shipping, more on top. Almost had them at the arena there, but then a poor driving error here, and it's on Nuts 2, sending free shipping down the pit. And that was how Nuts 2 got to the heat final. Concussion, meanwhile, took on PP3D in a destructive fashion. Well, not destructive, but definitely chaotic. Off came the tire for the wheel, and that was basically what cemented their defeat, and then flung out of the arena for good measure. That solidified it, and then Warhead set something on fire, I think, again, the weapon mechanism, and then flung them up and over, and Warhead didn't really have any way of responding, and then was shoved down the pit, and Concussion followed them.
Robotiers, stand by.
Nuts 2 with the chain flails and their ring cage, and Concussion with their spinning drum. And this is a tiebreaker fight as well as a grudge match. And there's a reason for that. They fought twice beforehand. This was a fight in Series 10 of Robot Wars, the official series. With Nuts 2 had their little cluster bots, and Concussion ended up and over via the floor flipper and was stuck that way the entire fight. Shunt wasn't helping matters. And Concussion losing drive on one side, the drum not working. There was nothing else they could do, and Nuts 2 were given the win there, and then they fought again in Anti-White Anarchy Battle of the Builders. Nuts 2 for 2 Penny Milk, and Concussion for OrangeDoseOverJuice. And Concussion again seemed struggling, especially there when they got themselves stuck on the trap. Then
they get away from there. Meanwhile, Nuts. Oh!
A one flip from Matilda, and then the floor flipper, a 1 in a million shot, catapulting them out the arena. And that was the end of Nuts 2. They lost, and Concussion got the victory and tied up the rankings.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Who will come out on top of this tiebreaker? Nuts 2 spinning around and flailing their chain flails. Concussion pushing away to try and get that drum into play. Doing a bit of sparks, but not much. They can outpush Nuts 2. So they've got that going for them, at least. But other than that, Nuts 2, a very strange design. And hitting that machine is going to be very, very tricky, as Concussion is finding out they struggled last times as well. But they can outpush them. And Concussion now being lifted up by the spikes as Nuts 2 throws themselves up and over just by driving. Concussion stuck on those spikes. They are being counted out, but I don't really think that's fair there, because those spikes should have gone down by now. Nuts 2 flips themselves over again, righted. And is Nuts 2 going to help? Yes! Concussion back in the fight, and a pushing away at Nuts 2, and Nuts 2 to the pit! And that's the end, and Concussion's followed suit! And I am being relayed that, yes, cease is called, and it is Concussion going through to the semi-finals. A great effort from Nuts 2, but this is where their run ends. Commiserations to them, but it's Concussion going through to the semi-finals. Well done to them. The tiebreaker has been broken. Nuts 2 crash out, and Concussion is the first machine into the series semi-finals. And it's already done better here than it did in Series 1 on my second channel. Look forward to seeing how far they go. But until then, take care, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.